first of all, the name of the politician. This is very important, guys. The way we do it is, we need to do two things. First of all, we need to pass what we call in HTML an attribute. What's the name of the attribute? That's up to you. You can type whatever you want. Let me call that name, for instance, because that's the name of the character. And then with quotes, the name of the character, Boris Johnson. And the same for the other two. Name, Donald Trump. And finally, with the lady, name, Angela Merkel, right? However, that's not enough. So we are passing the right names, but the component doesn't care at all. You see, the component is hard coding the name of the character. How do we bind? How do we connect that? This is very important. We need to pass a variable here inside of the parentheses. Yeah? So inside of the parentheses, which is an American term, we need to pass the properties. In React world, they like to call it properties or props. It doesn't matter which name we use inside of the parentheses. Yeah? We could, again, use sexyboy19, but it won't give us any feedback, any semantics about our exercise. This is an object. Next week, as part of the Intro to React session, we'll explain what an object is. However, for the time being, does anyone know how to access a property of an object? With it? Okay, look, that's interesting. The first thing we need to do, you said two interesting things. We need to use curly brackets. Every time we're in HTML and we need to refer to any variable, we need to use curly brackets. And then inside of the curly brackets, we can do props, and then what else? Dot what? Name. Why name and not Peter Pan? Correct, because that's the label we've used to declare that attribute now. Yeah? All right, let's see if it works or not. Boris Johnson, fantastic. Donald Trump, Angela Merkel, they are all blonde. It's probably the only thing they share, right? So, we still need to work around how to pass the image. Can you figure out, guys, how to make the image dynamic? The same, correct. Look, I can pass another property called image. Can I, instead of image, call it picture? Of course, it doesn't matter, right? It's up to you, guys. Picture, and then what? Boris. Again, with curly brackets, because that's a variable that we're importing on top. That's important, guys, right? So picture Boris, picture Donald, and picture Angela. And then what else? Here? Props.picture, correct. I hope you get the idea how to bind with properties, right? Look, Boris, Donald, Angela. It does work. It does work. And now, the very last part of this block. Imagine that we go live, our app starts getting traction, we start, making a lot of money out of this app, and our UX department thinks that it could be a good idea to put near the name of the character the age, how old that person is for the gossip and these things, right? To get more downloads on the App Store. So, you'll tell me, I'm not going to do that. You'll tell me, how can I display the age of each character? Take your time. I live nearby. I can stay here until late, right? So no problem at all. No one? Really? There is a free beer for free beer and snacks. Okay, you tell me. Yeah, all right, here, what do we do here? Okay, with parentheses, for instance, and then what? Props.name. Age, all right, like that. The curly brackets, look, the color is different. That's the way VS Code tells you something smells wrong, right? This won't work. However, if we surround this with curly brackets, yeah, will this work? Let's have a look. Oh, no. What are the ages of these people? We need the value. And how do we pass the value? Here, can we do age equals, yeah? How old Boris is? Can anyone tell me without going to Google? 50 years? That was very optimistic. I'm sure he'll be happy to hear that. 55, 65, I have no idea. Boris Johnson, age, 55, well done. Right. Donald, how old is he? 74, let's have a look. Donald, look, I type D-O-N-A and Google already suggests that. 73, that was close. And finally, Miss Germany, how old is she? 63, let's have a look. A little 65, nice. You have a good taste. Have a good taste, I love that. Cool. Fantastic. Well, guys, without looking at the screen, the sun is out, that's fantastic. That means we may have a drink outside now. Can anyone tell me if that will work or not? Let's have a look. Look, why not? Johnson, 55, Trump, 73, and Merkel, 65. It does work. It does work, right? So that's the process of creating an app. Of course, we could keep working on this hours, weeks, months. As part of the bootcamp, because we're a project-driven bootcamp, we build apps from the very first day. We build CodeFlix, which is the combination of Netflix and Codery. So we learn how to build a very, very deep app, user interface, database, business logic, deployment to the cloud, all the things you need to build a professional app and to break into the market, right? On the last 10 minutes of the session, I mentioned before that I would like to do some live coding. What you can see on the screen is the Codery platform. So that's what we use every single day to improve our coding skills. That platform is free. So regardless of whether you want to join the bootcamp or not, please join it because you can improve your technical skills. At the moment, you can train JavaScript, React, and UI. We are adding Python and Java in Autumn, right? So let's do a bit of React to get a feeling about how the platform works. Let's have a look. On the left-hand side, and again, I didn't mention how to join it, but it's very easy and it's free. When you go to codery.com, you will see a play button. I'm sure it will look better on your screen. When you click on the play button, you can join the platform, right? All right, so let's have a look to the question. essentially, for every topic, you got 5 questions to see how good you are dealing with that particular topic. So question number 1, look at how simple this is now. We are expecting to create a component called welcome, not character, this is called welcome. So whenever we execute the component, it should return welcome to React. Easy, right? If that sounds like speaking Chinese, you got for every single question a bunch of links and a video. That video is dedicated, is particular to that question, very short video, right? And on the right-hand side, it's time to do some coding. Does anyone know which text editor are we using here? It's VS Code, correct? That's the beautifulness of VS Code. Because it's written in JavaScript, I can use it here as part of my desktop app, but I can use it here on a web app. This is completely web. You don't have to install anything, right? All right, so let's type the answer. Welcome to React. And now, tell me, guys. Wrong. Ooh, that was brave. Why wrong? Exclamation mark missing. Can you spot the issue? Imagine that we didn't spot the problem and we want to evaluate that piece of code. Let's see what happens. Ooh, it doesn't really work. And now look at the error. It's a bit hard to see, but essentially we are highlighting the failing line. Welcome to React. It doesn't match that text. So let's add the exclamation mark and see if it works. Let's have a look. Look, confetti time. Yeah, that means the solution is correct. However, do you think it's perfect? Yes, definitely. One of the reasons why for our students is so easy to get a job compared to other bootcamps is because you learn standards by accident. If you don't follow the standards, you get a penalty, a virtual penalty. In that particular case, we forgot to add a semicolon, which is considered a good practice in JavaScript. So let's drop the semicolon and let's try again. Will we get confetti? Of course, we get confetti, and on top of that, now the solution is literally perfect. Yeah? And that means that we can go to question number 2. Let's do only that question, and then we'll skip the following ones. This is a bit more complicated. Again, welcome component. Here, we are expecting to create 2 paragraphs. On the first one, we should display welcome. On the second paragraph, we should display to React. Even though that syntax may sound a bit weird, that's the way you learn TDD. Does anyone know what TDD means? Test-driven development, yes, which is a very important thing to make sure your app satisfies some quality standards. So, based on that question, we got a paragraph called welcome. So we need to add a new one at the bottom called to React. What do you think? Is that code right or wrong? Oh, capital R. That's controversial. Is JavaScript case sensitive or not? Let's figure out. If I press the button, ooh, look. It is. So you're right, guys. We should be careful because JavaScript is case sensitive. In other words, we need to match the case conventions, right? So if we evaluate again, then hopefully we'll get some confetti. Here we go. Question number 2 is right. So I'll skip the next question because I just wanted to give you a feeling about how the platform works. What happened at the end of the challenge? Of course, you can review your questions And at the end, look at that, guys. You get a score. The score is telling you how good you are dealing with that particular topic of React. According to what? Tenacity. How many questions you've completed. Accuracy. How many times you submit the question and you fail. When people get 0, we say that they play in Street Fighter mode. You remember Street Fighter? When you hit the button just to win the battle, right? Without any criteria. So that's what happened when you submit without thinking. Speed. How long it took you to complete the challenge. Focus. How many times you went to Google to check how to sort an array. What do you think about, for instance, doing copy and paste of your code, guys? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Why a bad thing? Correct. If you copy and paste code, you get a penalty. Yeah, we are against that practice. And finally, elegance, how standard your code is. So that training is individual. But on top of that, we have the challenges. Actually, tomorrow, here, we have our first team challenge. What a challenge is, essentially, this is a competition where we fight against each others. It could be a small challenge, it could be a big challenge, right? So let's see how it works. For instance, the last one we ran, actually we got Patrick, Anais, and Vincent, who have been helping today. So let's see how they behave, right? That's the challenge they did last week. So you can compare their performance, and you can check the results. Do you mind, guys, if I show the results? Cool, fantastic. So here, visually speaking, you can see the purple person won the challenge, right? Got a better score. So then what we do is we reveal the results. Look, starting from the bottom. So Patrick scored 37 points, so we can see the strengths, the weaknesses. Then on top 2, you get Anais, who finished second with 55 points. And then we got Mr. Vincent with 75 points, who won the challenge, right? You can see on each question, I can clearly see question number 4, that was the most controversial one, right? It was the most complicated one. So after running the challenge, we evaluate that question and we try to learn how to solve it. Also, every player has a title. Anais' Majesty, Vincent is Imperial Majesty, right? So this is a gaming platform where we try to convince you that learning could be fun. On top of the training, we got the leaderboards, where you can see the best players across a given period of time. And of course, you got the Hall of Fame, the best players of a period of time. You see, best players of the day, of the week, of the month, best players ever. We got Google employees, we got Facebook employees. We share that information with potential employers. So if you want to get a job, that information is very important because it proves attitude, it proves motivation. Don't forget that breaking into the market could be complicated. You need to do something different, right? You can get the statistics by country. You can get many different analytics about your performance, right? So again, this training has been so far individual. Starting from tomorrow here, we'll have a team challenge. Instead of fighting against each other, on each table, we'll have a different team. So we'll see which team is more performant, right? And in September, we'll run an international challenge versus Madrid. And in October, an international challenge versus Paris. You'll be more than invited to join this, of course. I would like to leave it here not without saying thank you again to Nilofer, Patrick, Anais, and Vincent, wherever he is. Here you go. And again, now I'll bring some drinks. It's a bit hot here. I don't know how the weather is. If it's not raining, I think we'll all appreciate some fresh air. So we can go to the terrace. We have a lovely terrace behind. So you are more than invited to join us on the terrace. I'll bring beers. I'll bring some snacks. Yeah. So we can have a chat about coding, about the next bootcamp, about Donald Trump, well, not Donald Trump, but about whatever you want, right? We'll have a drink outside, and then we'll play a bit of ping pong inside. So thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and looking forward to see you again. Thank you, guys. Cheers.